Thank you so much, Valerian, for your report. My name is Tawanda Johnson Gray, and I'm going to discuss the observations and recommendations on how government agencies address biological incidents in the future. So, for a summary of the anthrax attacks of 2011, as stated earlier in our presentation, when the anthrax attacks in 2001 occurred, America's healthcare system was not prepared to respond in a way that could reduce the loss of lives that occurred as a result of this act. Again, the anthrax attacks revealed the response weaknesses regarding bioterrorism and triggered the development of federal policies that would directly address these deficiencies, such as addressing agency and laboratory operational hours and coordination between agencies when a biological incident has been suspected or confirmed. In 2002, America's plan on biodefense response shifted with the creation of an agency focused on public health emergency preparedness. Born out of the Department of Health and Human Services, the Office of Public Health Emergency Preparedness to address bioterrorism, pandemics, and other health hazards occurred. In 2006, this office was renamed the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response. The most important observation of the application of the concept of biological emergency response regarding the anthrax incidents was after the identification of the systemic weaknesses. The federal government officials acknowledged the need for change and allowed emergency response planning to be fluid, right? So, whether it was the necessity of changing a procedure or the name of the procedure, the creation of an agency, or the changing of the name of agencies involved in emergency preparedness, there is an understanding within the leadership of how language makes the difference on how effective public health emergency response is executed. So, when we take a look at the Fort Myers, Arizona anthrax attack of 2025, local government agencies immediately identified the Fort Myers, Arizona anthrax attack as a copycat Amerithrax biological attack. Federal, state, and local authorities, which includes the FBI, the CDC, and the Arizona Department of Health Services, worked together to thwart the success of this attack. The biohazard detection system, designed to intercept biological attacks, which was an implementation after the 2001 anthrax attacks, helped to intercept this attack. The suspect was taken into custody immediately by the authorities, and a vaccine for anthrax was ready to treat those affected by this attack, which contributed to a zero casualty rate. So, from a recommendation standpoint, core practices regarding public health emergency management and response that are effective should not change just because a presidential administration shifts due to election outcomes. That's number one. Number two, federal agencies need to stay abreast of local and state public health and emergency response laws and procedures as prescribed by the appropriate agencies, especially in larger metropolitan areas like Phoenix, Arizona. Third, continue to identify the strengths and weaknesses in current public health emergency response policies as to assist with increasing effectiveness of biological incident emergency responses regarding biological agents such as anthrax. Fourth, allocate appropriate funding that contributes to the research of known and unknown biological agents such as anthrax that can negatively impact humans, animals, and the environment. Fifth, allocate appropriate funding towards educating the public, business owners, elected and appointed officials, federal agencies such as the United States Postal Service, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, etc., as an application of biodefense. Six, create minimal guidelines for federal, state, and local levels biological incident response to ensure minimal damage to humans, animals, and the environment. Next, mandate biodefense training for all federal and state local employees to ensure biodefense practices. And last but not least, increase communications between Homeland Security, the United States Postal Service, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and other surveillance agencies that will create awareness of potential terrorist threats in which anthrax can be used. So, this concludes our report on the biological agent anthrax. Thank you.